Hey guys, Sean Lexi here, back with a new rambling mini review. This is Cultist Simulator. This was released in 2018. It's currently $20. And apparently it was released by the same people that did Sunless Sea and, well, Fall in London, I guess. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how many of the same people worked on it. Now, if you haven't heard of it, I'm not really that surprised. I'm not going to recommend it, despite the fact that it's a game that I desperately want to love. I just can't recommend it. The screenshots you're seeing right now are basically the whole game. It's supposedly a card-based management sim, story rich, according to the Steam tag. That's not really true. That's basically not true. What it is an organizational game with a bunch of flavor text that's also a roguelike or roguelite. I don't remember the difference. Uh, that does it does happen to use cards, but it could use anything really, right? So it's basically, oh my gosh, why must you autoplay the frickin' wait, why did you start there? Why do you keep autoplaying, you son of a bitch? I don't know this. Anyway, so this is basically the gameplay. I'll make that bigger. You do things and it gives you flavor text, and that's all. The challenge is figuring out what to do, how to do it, and what the winning conditions are. And then getting the timing down. Now, this is a game I did not finish. I got probably 40 hours worth. And I was trying to do stuff and I'm like, why is this not working? I'm like, there should be things that like this should work, but it's not working and I don't know why. And then it's silly. I ended up having to look up on the wiki and being like, oh, okay, it's not working because of this. See there, presumably that's one of the endings, but I never got it. I never got one of the endings, or I never got any of the endings because I got about 40 hours in and I got tired of trying to get the timing to work because all of your cards, almost all of them, have some sort of timing effect. Either the good ones decay over time and the bad ones get worse over time. And so the card I needed to win the game kept decaying faster than I was able to line up the stuff. And so after several hours of trying to win, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. And while I kind of regret it, I don't really. It's it's kind of frustrating at times, you know. Yeah. So I mentioned before it was an organizational game. Basically, you start off. They showed it very briefly on this first. See, you start with a single card. Usually, on your first playthrough, you start with a single card, and then you do things, and that gives you more cards and more of, well, they keep jumping around, but you have these verbs, I think they're called, little actions like talk or study or dream or work or whatever, and you put your cards into those. It's like, do you study with passion? Do you study with reason? Do you study with health? Do you study with dread? Do you study? That's basically what you're doing. It's all trial and error. And the more things you do, the more cards you get. And then so it's basically like, here's 5 cards, you'll need one of them to do whatever in the future. And you're like, oh, okay. And here's 14 more cards, and you'll need cards, 3, 4, and 10 to do things with in the future. And you're like, okay. And then so by the end, your freaking table looks like this, except this is clean. This is super clean because I had way more than this. My entire freaking table was filled uh in like a grid, and it wasn't anywhere near this neat. It was a freaking mess, and that's part of it. Part of the challenge is learning how to organize your freaking uh all your cards, because so that you can find them when you need them. And like I'm complaining a lot about it. I'm talking negatively about a lot of it, but it is incredibly compelling. You know, I kept giving up and stopping and then going back to it. So there is something really interesting about it, but like I said, I can't recommend it, and the payoff is just not there. And it's kind of like it's kind of like a tech tree in a real-time strategy game. It's like once you learn what you're doing, which only takes a couple of times, once you learn what to do, you're like, okay, that's it. That's, it's like, I don't know. It's like any freaking any puzzle, any puzzle that's the same every time you go to play it. If you're playing a game and it's like, oh, I need to solve this puzzle to proceed, and it's the same exact puzzle every time. Once you learn the solution, you're just moving the pieces, and you're like, okay, let's just move the pieces, solve the puzzle, and go. And that's basically what this game becomes. It's like, there's RNG. It's like, what cards are you going to get? But you're like, yep, I need this card to do this. I need this card to do this. I need to use these cards in this way. Okay. And then you grind for freaking 10 to 20 hours to get these things, the magic that you need to get that up to where you need it to get. And then you do some things and you're like, I'm good, I win. And it's just, it just, when you realize the engagement is in the learning, and then once you've learned the stuff, all that's left is busy work. It becomes a chore. And yeah, like I said, but the writing, if we're gonna, I've been talking a bunch of negative. If we're gonna talk about positives for a second, which I try to do, the writing is fantastic. All the little flavor text is wonderful. I tried to read everything I could. It was just amazing. And the act of trying to test things out, and what the hell is this thing? What do the different cards do? Using all the different cards, that's really cool. Even talk about it now kind of makes me want to play again. But it's like a horrible addiction. You're like, yeah, it does nothing for me, but I want it. That's kind of how this game makes me feel. So, man, I don't know. You know how many podcasts and YouTube videos and other stuff I watched while I was trying to freaking win this thing, and while I was just grinding out some of the stuff? Like 40 hours worth. It's a really compelling game, and it grabs you by the addiction gland or whatever. It grabs something in your brain. It doesn't let go, but it's not like a good thing. It doesn't feel good. It feels like an addiction, and you're just like, why am I playing this? But I need it. That's how this game feels. Yeah, I don't know. That's basically all I have to say about it. It's, like I said, it's compelling. The writing's fantastic. There is a mystery, but once you've kind of figured it all out, you're just kind of like, eh. And seriously, I can only imagine going back through and playing multiple times, because they say the average game length is 20 to 40 hours. And this is a roguelike, by the way. So you lose and you start over. And in order to win, there's a huge chunk in the middle that you are basically just grinding. So I yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. Really do appreciate it. Really hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Hope you enjoyed this one. Questions, comments, concerns, good, bad, or indifferent, let me hear them. I do try and read all of them, assuming they're not memory hold. I do try and respond to all of them as well. Let me know what you guys thought. If you played Cultist Simulator, if it looks interesting, if you haven't played it, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm always interested. And like I said, that's it. Hope to see you guys next time. Till then, guys, take care.